Hey, welcome back. It's Cavallo from datingfire.com and datingadviceguru.com. You know, when you're in an unhappy relationship, it's one of the most difficult situations you can possibly imagine, right? You've got relationship problems, and when you have those, it just seems like everything else fades into the background. Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. I want to talk about being unhappy in a relationship and how you can fix it. Stick around. This is going to be some good stuff. Now, of course, you got to do your duty, right? You got to do the big three. Make sure you, of course, like and subscribe if you like this stuff. Why not? Make sure you turn on notifications, that little bell indicator next to the subscribe button. And of course, if you have any questions or comments or you want to suggest a video, leave that in the comment section below. Sure, you wish you had a magic pill that would just turn your unhappy relationship into a happy, healthy relationship. But whatever the state of your current relationship is, you can fix it, okay? You can have a loving partner again, and you can enjoy the good times. Anyone and everyone can bring the happiness back into their love. You might even wonder if your partner is unhappy with you, right? If you're currently in a relationship and you're just wondering, is there unhappiness in it? And this will certainly reflect back and make you unhappy in your relationship. Believe it or not, 1 in 5 relationships are unhappy. Now, this might seem like a high number. After all, 20%, that's pretty huge, right? But you also have to realize that in order for you to have a good, happy relationship, you might have to have an unhappy relationship to escape or to get out of, or to teach you what it is you really want in your happy relationship. It's simply a necessary step in the evolution of our skills in having relationships, having romance. Look, you're not going to find Mr. Right on the first try. Trust me on this one. You probably have a lot of questions about your romantic relationship, right? Like when is the right time to give up? What does a healthy relationship even feel like? Would he be better off as a friend than a boyfriend? How do you even know if you're in an unhappy relationship? Am I trapped in this relationship? Why do I even stay, right? Well, let's start with a few signs that you might be in an unhappy relationship, and then we can talk more about what you can do about it. Unhappy relationship signs. How do you know if you're in an unhappy relationship, right? Well, let's go through a few of the warning signs. Sign number 1 is you're not getting enough quality time. Yep, one of the most obvious indications that you are feeling unhappy is when you're not getting enough quality time with your partner. A happy relationship nourishes you with time and attention and love. And if you're not getting enough time, you're going to be feeling unappreciated or underappreciated at the very least. Sign number 2 is your sex life is probably lacking. It's one of the most obvious indicators when your romantic life in the bedroom is sparse or non-existent and the sex is dried up. You're probably very unhappy, and it could be a rough patch, but this is not going to be fulfilling you. Sign number 3, your personal life is impacted. If you start feeling unhappy with your friendships and possibly your career because the relationship is suffering, well, that's probably an unhappy relationship right there. Sign number 4, there is a lack of communication. Now, communication is one of the most critical elements of a happy marriage and a happy relationship, right? Without it, the result is that you're going to feel unhappy and unfulfilled. And it's critical that you're able to talk with your partner and communicate feelings as well as being vulnerable. Sign number 5, you think you might be in a codependent relationship. Frequently, one of the most obvious unhappy signals in a relationship is when your emotional state depends on how happy your partner is. Yeah, it happens. So this is sometimes known as a codependent relationship. In a healthy relationship, you want to make your partner happy, but you don't accept 100% of the responsibility for their emotional state. That's not under your control. Codependent relationships are where we become too enmeshed in our partner's emotions, and the boundaries, well, they start to get really unhealthy. Sign number 6, you have trust issues. If there are trust issues within your relationship, it's going to trickle down into your level of happiness. Trust and reliability are central in a partner. If you don't feel you can trust him or his trust issues are getting in the way, it's time to seek help. Now, sign number 7 is you're in an abusive relationship. This one goes without saying, right? If there is any kind of verbal or physical abuse in your relationship, you're going to be unhappy, and you should immediately separate yourself from that environment. Immediately. This kind of toxic relationship could have severe safety issues for you as well. Get some help. Now I'm going to skip forward a little bit. I've got a ton more signs. If you want to go get them, go to the site, go to datingfire.com and pull up this article on these signals. But sign number 12 is that you don't even argue anymore. Things have gotten so bad that you don't even bother to argue. It's just easier to avoid each other or to stay silent. That's a really sad place to be in a relationship. Sign number 13 is little to no romance left. You're not romantic partners anymore. You don't go on dates. It's as if you're brother and sister now and you're just living together. maybe occasionally doing things, but that's it. There's no spark of romance. So should you try and fix an unhappy relationship? Each individual has different needs. No one can make this decision for you. There are many methods to get to the goal, but ultimately you have to find the courage to decide if you want to stay his girlfriend or you just want to move on. Now, the first thing you should be doing is making a list of all the details about your relationship. What is it you need and value in your relationship? How much space do you need? How can you handle difficult conversations? How do you make it safe to point out a behavior or actions that cause the fights or arguments? Because that's important. And if you have children together, how do you guys as a couple make sure that nothing hurts them? Well, you have to decide all this stuff for yourself first. There are many factors that you have to consider, and you may have to build up some of your skills and tools to keep your eye on the path. So how do you fix an unhappy relationship? Chances are you probably want to put in the effort, right, to fix things with your significant other before you walk away. You want to know you at least worked on it. Now, you're probably ready to work on your communication, your trust, and basically do anything you can to put the spark back into your love. Remember, it's not your fault or his fault that you got to this point. It's simply time to figure out how to fix your relationship, no matter how stuck you might feel at the present moment. Now, here are some essential tips for couples to repair this kind of unhappy relationship. Step number one is you got to figure out if you're just unhappy in your relationship, or are you maybe unhappy in your life right now? It's tempting to blame your significant other, your boyfriend, your husband, for your unhappiness, right? But there's a chance that you just might be unhappy with yourself right now. Is your job giving you fulfillment? Are you too obsessed with managing your relationship? Is it possible you've just got unrealistic expectations about your relationship? Really, take a look at your situation. See if you might just be unhappy with your own life and you're projecting it onto the relationship. It would be a big mistake to focus on the relationship problem when your doubts and anxieties are really what's creating the conflict in it. There are plenty of people who haven't looked at the possibility that their career might even be in a slump. It can be hard to see that our dissatisfaction with our own life is actually hurting our heart. Ultimately, you might need to find a therapist to help you out of it. Step number two is you got to get rid of the guilt. You might have a partner that's depending on you for emotional stability, financial stability, or even more. You might live together and you know that you'd have to move out of your house or your apartment if this broke up. Now, don't let the possible guilt stop you from doing what you need to do. It's far worse to spend years in an unhealthy relationship than it is to get past the short-term pain of moving on. In other words, if you've ever asked somebody, did sticking it out work? They'll tell you, no, it's better to move on quick every single time. Don't get trapped by guilt. Step three is start the conversation. Part of the process of healing with your significant other is just having the conversation that you've got a problem. Whatever the case may be, you know what aspects of your experience are causing you this stress. Put aside your fears of being vulnerable, because putting up a defensive shield will probably destroy any chance of intimacy here. Just ask a question about his perspective and then listen to him. He needs to know that you care about him too. Let him know if you're unhappy or discontent, if you're stuck in a rut. Even if if you guys have an argument, that's actually a positive step, because at least you're talking and at least you're getting those emotions out there. Now, I've got a few more steps for you in there on the article at the site, so go on over to datingfire.com if you want to get all the juicy details here. But the final step I want to tell you about today is don't forget gratitude. If there's one element of a relationship that you can lose sight of, it's gratitude. In order to feel attraction in a relationship, you have to feel grateful for your partner. I cannot overemphasize the importance of this. In fact, one of the red flags I see in a relationship is when neither person is feeling that kind of gratitude. The best moments in a relationship are where you feel that you're not only content with each other, but you have a healthy level of respect and actually a healthy level of fear of losing that person, both of you. Now, in the end, I could fill volumes of books about all the behaviors that leave men and women unhappy in a relationship. There's a disconnect that leaves you feeling like maybe you're without purpose, or you feel a little out of control. Your plans and your goals are just not aligned. All these things, but if you can focus on the right parts of your relationship, the parts that he is focusing on, and then you can turn around your relationship. And if you're really serious, if you really want to get your relationship on track, you need to take my relationship roadblock survey. You can go check it out right now. Go on over to datingfire.com/roadblock roadblock. That's datingfire.com/roadblock. This is going to point out exactly where in your relationship right now you are stuck. Why is it you're not getting where you want to go? And I'm guessing if you're looking at videos, if you're watching Carlos's videos, you're not necessarily in a healthy place. Not many people go out and work on their relationship when it's good. They only come to me when it's bad, unfortunately. And that's why I think you need to do this right now. Go on over to datingfire.com/roadblock. I'll give you a chance to go through my quick quiz. And you're going to find out exactly what it is that you need to focus on next. And I'll even give you a copy of my free ebook. Look, you got to know why he fell out of love with you. You got to know why he stopped loving you. And if you don't know, chances are your relationship can't last. Go find it and fix it right now. Hey, this is Carlos Cavallo, and it's been great having you. Before you run away, though, before you run to the next great Carlos video, make sure you do the big three. Number 1, make sure you like and subscribe. This is great stuff. Number 2, turn on notifications so you know when the next video comes out. And number 3, if you have a comment or you want to suggest a video, leave that down in the comment section below. It's been great. This is Carlos Cavallo from datingfire.com. As always, live and love with passion.